this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I found out today that I have a friend that's having surgery tomorrow. Now, by the time the video goes live, it will actually be past the surgery, but I wanted to get this card out to her before she goes into surgery. So I went to one of my favorite Get Well card sentiments, and if there's a glare on that, I apologize, but I'm using the Lawn Fawn on the Mend stamp set. I really like this stamp set. It's so much fun. I waited and waited and waited for these before I went ahead and got them. And then I finally decided I'm just going to go ahead and get them. So I'm using this little turtle, and as I'm sitting here, I think I just changed my mind on something else I'm going to do. I think I'm going to also use this flower up on the top. Now, I've already done the stamping with my turtle, so we'll just put him away. I was going to use him, and you know, we'll just leave him out because I may change my mind and use him yet. And then I'm using this one that says wishing you a speedy recovery, and then the exclamation point. So we'll set that aside. And this is what he looks like stamped out. Now, this is paper tray ink, and it's really thick, heavy white cardstock, which I love. And so you can see what he looks like stamped out, but I've already colored him using my Prismacolors, so we'll come back to that. I am using my big scalloped circles in the large, and I believe the one that I'm using is this third one in right there. And the paper collection that I'm using is this One Fine Day from 3 Bugs in a Rug. And it's one I picked up at a scrapbooking expo, and I think I paid 75 cents for it. And it's got 36 pages in it. It's only single-sided, but it's really a lot of fun, so I can't wait to show you what I'm going to do. This is the first time I've used this pad, and I thought it would be a perfect cheer me up card. Now, my card base is a standard, it's going to be a standard A2 size card, and this is just Georgia Pacific paper, just, you know, the stuff you get at Walmart. And I'm actually going to score it so that it's 8.5 inches wide, so I will score it at 4 1/4. I really like this Martha Stewart scoreboard. It tells you right there that that's an A2 size card, which is really kind of nice. So that's all scored and ready. So let's go ahead and just fold that so that we can start our card. And I'll grab my bone folder here, my good bone folder. This is my favorite bone folder. The others work great for the score buddies or score boards, but I really like that one to do my creases. So there we've just got the white card. This is the scallop that is sitting there. But let's start with the inside of the card. That's what I wanted to put this little flower on. Now, I'm not going to do anything real fancy with that. I think we'll just use the flower. So we'll just stamp that right in the corner. And rather than have it really be dark and bold, I'm going to use this London Fog, which is a lighter color, and it'll be more of a it'll still be there and you'll still be able to see it, but it'll be a little bit more shadowy than what you would expect. And so it's more of an accent piece. This isn't really a focal point like you would normally do stamping. This is just the accent, just a little hint of a smile there, just like that. Now this, the paper that I chose, you will see how well it goes with this Lawn Fawn stamp set when you see the paper, because it just is gorgeous paper. Or I shouldn't say gorgeous, but it's beautiful paper. Now the next step that I'm going to do is I have this piece here that I've cut it for. This is 4 inches wide, and I don't know, it's maybe like 2 inches tall. And now these at a first glance maybe don't seem like they really go together, but they're actually part of the paper that kind of coordinates together. Now, as I said, this is 4 inches wide. I cut this just a tad bit wider because what I want to do is I want it to be bigger, and I'm going to use my Scallop Sentiment Punch here from Fiskars. I want it to be bigger because I want to trim it after they're adhered together, just so that I pulled that over too far. Just so that I get a cleaner image, so that it, you know, sometimes when I measure at 4 inches, without fail, it seems like one of them ends up shorter than the other. So I thought I would go a little bit wider. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this small piece. This is actually for another part of the card, but it's just a piece that I had sitting there And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Now this one is quite a bit smaller. I believe I cut that at 3 3/4 inches. And again, because I want to have the overhang so that I can just hand trim it, I'll go back and it's a little bit wider than the 3 3/4. So that's using the scallop sentiment. And so now we're going to start adhering. So this one actually, I could actually trim that because I really don't need it to be that wide, because really the emphasis here that I want is on the scallop. So I'll just trim that down so that it's fairly narrow like the other piece. And that one's set aside. So what I'm going to do to start with is I am going to just adhere, run a line of adhesive down that. And this is why I use this brown mat all the time, because I can't cut something in a straight line. I can't go in a straight line very well with my adhesives, so that's why I use a brown mat. So if I go over, I'm okay. Or under, I should say. Let's put a little bit more. Doesn't mess up my other mat. Now this would be a good time to have the mat there that is the self-adhesive mat, but that's okay. Or I mean the measuring mat, because I could just get a little bit cleaner, straighter line, but I think we'll still be okay here. So that just is just the hint of a scallop there, and then we'll just trim it off by hand. Just like so. That's going to go on the inside of the card, but while we're doing that process, here's the same card. This is a bit smaller. This one's cut at 3 3/4. No, I'm sorry. Let's measure it. I can't remember what I cut it at. This one is cut at, yes, 3 3/4. And so this one's just a hair longer. And we're going to do the exact same thing. Create a scallop there. Now this one's narrower, so I have to really be careful with my adhesive. And line it up there, and this one is just going to go right like so. If I can see what I mean about getting it straight. Not so good at the whole straight thing. Let's try that again. ATG, once it's really strongly adhered, it's very difficult to bring up, but as long as it hasn't been adhered down strongly, you can usually bring it back up for a few minutes. Okay. Well, that's almost straight. And then again, we're just going to trim it. And the reason why I chose to use the scallop sentiment is because I wanted it to mimic the scallop that I'm putting my little image on. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the inside of the card together now that we have that all adhered and done. And just put some adhesive down. Just like so. Put that adhesive behind. And then there's plenty of room for me to write whatever I want to write in there. Okay, so now let's move on to the front of the card. The first layer that I have here is right here. And this is a standard A2 size card, so the first layer is actually going to be 5 1/4 inches tall by 4 inches wide, and that's going to be our very first layer, just like that. Just a fun color. And then the next layer is right here. And that's where I talk about the flowers. See how the flowers mimic kind of the flowers that I have inside. And so that's going to be my next layer. And this layer is 5 inches tall by 3 3/4 inches wide. We're just going to adhere that down. And then we're going to put the next layer on. Now this layer, I didn't cut it smaller. I want it to fit and cover up the bottom part of that, just like so. And so this is 2.5 inches tall plus my scallop, and then it's the 3 3/4 inches wide on the sides. I thought about using some ribbon or something, but I just felt like it was just fine using the paper because the paper is so fun, and I just felt like ribbon would be take away from that the paper feel that we have. So that's going to go right there. Now I meant to do my stamping next and I forgot, so hopefully I won't have any trouble with my stamping here. What I'm going to do is we'll open it out just to try to make sure that it's even. And I've got my Memento Tuxedo Black, and this is where it says wishing you a speedy recovery. Now on the little turtle that I'll show you in just a minute, I used my Ranger Archival black ink, the jet black, and the only reason I'm not using it now, I like them both, and I haven't really seen, I can't really say that I like one over the other. I've been happy with both of them. The reason I'm using the Memento here instead of keeping it the Ranger all throughout is because I have the big Ranger Archival black pad, and it's too difficult to ink a stamp on that particular stamp press, so that's why I used it. Now I had initially put my little exclamation point on right with the phrasing, but it kept falling off, so I thought, well, I'm gonna have to just stamp that separately. And it's kind of a difficult little thing to stamp because it's so small. It has a lot of give, so it's not as clean as I would like, but it's still cute. Okay, so there we have wishing you the speedy recovery. And then this is my image, and I use my Copics to color, or not my, I don't have Copics, my Prismas to color my little image. And I used the Gamsol to kind of smooth it out and blend things together. And then I took my Fiskars 2-inch punch and I just punched it because it's the perfect size to punch around my little critter here. And so then I'm going to just adhere it to that scallop. And see, they're just the perfect size for each other. I just am really happy with the way that they fit so well together. And I thought, kind of, if you use your imagination a little bit, I'm all about imagination, right? It kind of mimics a flower with the scallop and the little guy in the middle. And then what I thought I would do to give him just a little bit more dimension is I would pull my foam tape out here. We'll just pull a couple of pieces of that, and we would pop him up on just a little bit of foam tape, although that wasn't good. Cut it. There we go. That piece can be saved for later. We'll just pop him up. Now, I thought about putting him in the middle here, but I think what I'm going to do is just kind of center him, or not really center him, kind of offset him off to the side, just like that. And then let's see, do we have something a little bit to go up in this corner? Pull out my bling here. That's the wrong color pink. I got some new on clearance, or at Michael's the other day. That might be the right. This was in the dollar bins that they have. And I got some pink ones and some green ones, and they were either $1 or $1.50 a piece. They have a lot of stones in them. So let's try those. And they have larger stones. Most of the bling that I have is smaller, and these are a bit larger, so I thought that would be kind of fun. Which color? I like that color better. I like that it comes in different sizes. So then I can kind of play with different sizes just like that. That last one doesn't want. There we go. That looks good, just like that. And that it's not. Oops. Slide that over just a little bit more. That little one doesn't want to play with me at all. There we go. And I think that we will call that good. So thanks so much for stopping by today. And remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.